I'm Roman Yossi of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Matt Duchesne of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Justus Aros of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Ryan Johansson of the Nashville Predators.
You're listening to the Renegades of Puck
with Crazy Charlie.
Welcome to the bunker. Welcome to the Renegades of Puck podcast. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. And before we get to the No Half Step in Hockey coverage, first, let me direct you to our home website, renegadesofpuck.com. Once you go to renegadesofpuck.com, you'll learn everything you need to know about the show and what you're getting educated about the show. Well, you can click on that merchandise tab, and that's going to take you straight to our classic logo t-shirt, our Pride logo t-shirt, all of our different special event t-shirts, and so much more. All the gimmicks you've come to know and love from the Renegades Puck, still available in our online store. Whether it's socks, throw pillows, wall art, bed sets, we still have it on sale for you. We've sold out so that you can buy in. Social media is of critical importance to this independent hockey operation, so please listen up and give us some support. It doesn't take you but a second. It doesn't cost you a single thing. You can help us by going to Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or even TikTok and giving us a follow, a like, a subscription, and all of that good stuff. Please also give us a follow and a subscription on our YouTube channel. Leave a comment, spread the link. We sure do appreciate everyone checking out Renegades of Puck TV, and thank you so much to all of our recent subscribers. When it comes to the audio podcast, you can just search Renegades of Puck on your preferred platform or check out a couple of these different examples out there. Google, Stitcher, Spotify. You can find us on all of those. Also on Amazon. Please check out the Renegades of Puck podcast in audio format. Thanks to the Full Press NHL network, more Renegades of Puck than ever are hearing the show. Stick taps, love, and respect to everybody behind the scenes working so hard to help us break our record for replays and downloads. That's coming up pretty soon. We're coming up on a whole bunch of milestones actually for the show here in a next short amount of time. Now, Venmo, that's how you can become a partner of the show. Please just go to Venmo and search Renegades of Puck or scan the QR code that is currently on your screen. Thanks to generous Renegades just like you out there watching and listening to the Renegades of Puck podcast, we've been able to make significant upgrades throughout the entirety of this season here to the bunker, the microphone, the camera, the lights, the computer behind the scenes, and we are looking to make some more upgrades here as we move into the warmer months of the season to keep the show moving right along and as efficient as possible as we get into the hottest possible months. What I'm trying to say is I think we're going to need to get an air conditioning unit here for the bunker. We're going to have to go ahead and make some upgrades behind the scenes that don't necessarily have to do with the tech of the show, but have to do with keeping the show going. So again, that's how you can help us out on Venmo, and thank you so much for everyone that has helped us out a long way. Now, I know it's a lot. Talked about a lot right there, but let's get to the No Half Step in Hockey coverage. It's time for me to deliver the goods. Time for operation number 744. That's right, time for show number 744 for the Renegades of Puck. And at this moment in hockey history, the Nashville Predators are still very much alive. With 2 games to go in the season, Nashville Predators currently find themselves in 5th place in the Central Division. They have a record of 41, 31, and 8, 90 points on home ice, which is where the remaining 2 games of their schedule will take place. They have a record of 21, 14, and 4. They've scored 222 goals in the season. They've given up 231 goals. That's a goal differential of -9. Now, the next matchup for the Nashville Predators, as a matter of fact, the final 2 matches of the season will take place in the Central Division, and the Nashville Predators find themselves in a very unique role. Yes, fighting for their own playoff lives, but could play spoiler when it comes to the division winner for the Central Division. The Nashville Predators will face off next against the Minnesota Wild on Thursday, and then Friday will face off on home ice against the Colorado Avalanche. Now, how wide does that matter? With the top of the standings, let me update where we are right now with the Central Division standings. The Colorado Avalanche are in first place with 104 points, 3 games remaining on their schedule. The Dallas Stars have 104 points as well, 2 games remaining on their schedule. The Minnesota Wild are 2 points back at 102 points. They also have 2 games remaining. So the Minnesota Wild's final game of the regular season will be this game against the Nashville Predators. We'll know a lot more after tomorrow night on Tuesday when the Minnesota Wild are in Winnipeg to know how the Wild will approach. Obviously, a Wild loss in that game in Winnipeg means the Wild will be in the 3rd seed for the 2-3 matchup going into the playoffs and will have nothing to play for against the Nashville Predators. So a lot of intrigue going into these final couple of games of the season, and that is incredible. Considering where this Nashville Predators team was, there's so much still to talk about. The Winnipeg Jets are in 4th place with 93 points. The Preds have 90 points. And after that, St. Louis, Arizona, Chicago, all eliminated. So the Central Division, with 2 games to go in the season, still has 5 teams still alive. Now, the wild card race. The Seattle Kraken Congratulations on their first ever playoff berth. They will be the number 1 wild card team, which means they will take on the number 2 seed. More than likely, that's going to be the winner of the Central Division. So at this exact moment, Seattle would take on the Colorado Avalanche. That's going to be one hell of a series right there. The Winnipeg Jets sit in second place wild card with 93 points. The Calgary Flames are officially eliminated, 91 points, but only 1 game to go, so they cannot catch the Winnipeg Jets. The Nashville Predators have 2 games to go, have 90 points. They can still catch the Winnipeg Jets, but they're going to need some help. They do not have control of their own destiny going forward, but they're going to push the Winnipeg Jets to have to knock the Nashville Predators out. Now, for the Nashville Predators, I already mentioned the remaining schedule. It's pretty short. It is this game against Minnesota, and then the next night against the Colorado Avalanche, and then that will close out the regular season schedule. If the Predators make the playoffs, well, obviously there will be more hockey to play after that. Now, the Preds' next opponent is the Minnesota Wild, and it is do or die. The Preds have to win their remaining games and hope that they get some help from Winnipeg. So, going into this game against Minnesota Wild, let's go back and take a look at the regular season series and the recap for the Minnesota Wild. On the season, they have played 80 games. They have a record of 46, 24, and 10, 102 points, 2 points behind first place in the Central. On the road, a record of 21, 13, and 6. They've scored 242 goals in the season. They've given up 218. That's a goal differential of plus 24. On the season series now, this will be the third and final meeting of the regular season between the Nashville Predators and the Minnesota Wild. Go back on the November the 15th. It was the Preds scoring a 2-1 victory at Bridgestone Arena. UC Saros 32 out of 33 in the game for the victory. Matt Duchene and Nino Niederreiter with 1 goal apiece. Ryan Johansson with 2 assists. On February the 19th, these 2 teams would meet in Minnesota. The Preds would fall 4-3. UC Saros would take the loss 31 out of 35. The captain Romeo, 1 goal and 1 assist for 2 points, but Tommy Novak would actually outdo that with a goal and 2 assists for 3 points. Now, for the Nashville Predators, injuries have, of course, been a considerable problem. The captain, Romeo, it is rumored he could be back in for these final 2 games of the season. Highly unlikely we still see Philip Forsberg still listed as day-to-day. Cole Smith also listed as day-to-day. Carrier, not sure if we're going to see him back in the lineup. Luzon, not sure if we're going to see him back in the lineup before the end of the season. Now, the Minnesota Wild's most recent stretch of games, their last 5, it's on April the 3rd. They scored a 4-3 shootout loss versus the Vegas Golden Knights. On the 6th of April, a 4-1 loss at the Pittsburgh Penguins. On the 8th of April, a 5-3 win versus the St. Louis Blues, and a 4-2 win at the Chicago Blackhawks on the 10th of April. Tuesday night, we'll see the Minnesota Wild take on the Winnipeg Jets, and that will go a long way to knowing how the Nashville Predators will approach this game coming up on Thursday night. Again, it will be Minnesota's final regular season game. Minnesota has already clinched at least the number 3 playoff spot in the Central Division. Right now, they would match up directly against the Dallas Stars. Taking a look inside this matchup, though, going into the game, the Nashville Predators goals for 2.70 is 28th overall in the NHL, while 2.94 for Minnesota is 24th in the league. Goals against 2.65 for Minnesota, very respectable number. There's 4th best in the league, while the Preds are giving up 2.86 per game. That is 12th best in the NHL. In the shots for category, the Nashville Predators have struggled most of the season to generate shots, but especially without Roman Josi, they've fallen to 23rd in the NHL, generating 29.6 shots on net per game, while Minnesota is generating 31 on net per game. That's 18th best in the NHL. In the shots against category, 33.4 for Nashville. That's 27th overall in the league. In the shots against category for Minnesota, 31.3 per game. That is 17th in the NHL. When it comes to special teams, the Nashville Predators power play has been, well, fairly lackluster all season long, and I don't see any reason why it's going to change with 2 games to go. 17.6% conversion rate on the season is 27th in the league. 43 out of 245 opportunities. Minnesota Wild, better than that. 21.5%. That's 14th best in the league. 53 out of 246 opportunities. When it comes to the penalty kill, both of these teams quite good, actually. 82.2% kill rate for the Preds is 9th best in the NHL. They have given up 48 power play goals against. When it comes to the penalty kill for the Minnesota Wild, they are 11th rated in the league. They've given up 46 power play goals against and have a kill rate of 81.6%. Individual stats and leaders for each team. The captain, Roman Josi, and it would be a huge boost for the Nashville Predators needing to win out, needing to get some help from the Winnipeg Jets. The Captain Roman Josi leads the team in scoring, could be back in the lineup. 18 goals, 41 assists for 59 points in total. Matt Duchene, 22 goals and 34 assists for 56 points, is out. Phil Forsberg, 19 and 23 for 42, also out. Tommy Novak, 17 goals and 24 assists for 41 points in glass, 14 goals and 20 assists for 34 points in net. UC Saros' updated stats, 32, 23, and 7, a 9.19 save percentage, and a 2.69 goals against average, making a stronger and stronger case with every save for not only being a Vezina finalist, but perhaps so much more. When it comes to the Minnesota Wild, the visiting team, the team leader is Kaprizov, 39 goals and 35 assists for 74 points, and he usually does quite well against the Nashville Predators. As a matter of fact, so does the next skater, Matt Zuccarello, 22 goals in the season, 45 assists for 67 points. Boldy at 31 and 32 for 63. Eriksson, 23 and 38 for 61. And former Nashville Predator Ryan Hartman, 15 goals and 22 assists for 37 points. On the season, Marc-Andre Fleury, plenty of experience against this Nashville Predators team, a record of 24, 15, and for a 909 save percentage, 2.84 goals against average. And again, the Minnesota Wild will be playing their final game of the regular season, getting ready for a potential first-round matchup against the Dallas Stars or the Colorado Avalanche, or they may be coming in competing for the division itself. We'll find out a whole lot more in about 24 hours when the Minnesota Wild take on the Winnipeg Jets. That's got you all set up for the Nashville Predators versus the Minnesota Wild. It's the next to last game of the regular season, back-to-backs to wrap up the season for the Nashville Predators. 4 pivotal points on the line going up in this back-to-back, and the Preds still alive at this moment in time, at least as of this recording. Going to force the Jets to do the hard work and push the Preds out the hard way. That's going to do it for the preview. Coming up next is the Rebirth Sports full game recap. Let's go back to Calgary with the season on the line and UC Saros and net. How would the Nashville Predators fare? We're coming up to it next.
Hockey players are as unique as the game itself, and your uniform should be tailored to fit you. Rebirth Sports is your sports apparel tailor. From shells, bags, warm-ups, hats, hoodies, branding, and more, let Rebirth Sports be your custom hockey tailor.
And don't forget to tell them they do more than just hockey.
Rebirth Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Rebirth Sport, a match made in hockey.
It's now time for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. We go all the way back to April the 10th of the year 2023 when the Nashville Predators were in Calgary with their season on the line, taking on the Flames. Sanford, Glass, Tomasino make up the first line for John Hynes in his deployment. Sherwood, Novak, and Evangelista. Your third line, Trennan, Sissons, and welcome back, Juuso Parssinen to the lineup. Afanasyev, Jankowski, and McCarron make up your fourth line. McDonough and Fabro, Barry and Livingstone, Sassny and Foote are your defense pairings, and UC Saros gets to start in this critical game for the Nashville Predators. Just 32 seconds into the first period, UC Saros coming up with a save on Ritchie. It's the first shot on goal of the game. 53 seconds into the game, Markstrom comes up with a save on Afanasyev. It's first shot on goal for Nashville. 2:13 of the first period. Saros comes with a save on Tanev, plus the rebound shot that goes wide. Really good scoring opportunity there early in the game for the Calgary Flames. 3:48 of the second period. Markstrom comes up with a save on Sissons at close range. 5:29 of the first. Saros comes up with a save on Huberdeau. First scrum of the game comes after that whistle. 5:49 of the first period. It's Afanasyev's first goal as a Nashville Predator. First goal in the NHL, giving the Nashville Predators a 1-0 lead. It was Jankowski's hard forecheck that catches Markstrom in between and out of position, allowing the Nashville Predators rookie to get his first goal in the NHL, giving the Nashville Predators a 1-0 lead in this critical playoff race implication game. 7:34 into the first period, it's Tyler Toffoli going off the box. 2 minutes for high sticking. Markstrom would come up with a save on Glass. Markstrom would then come up with a save on Barry, and the puck would deflect off of Markstrom and off of the post before heading out. Really good scoring opportunity there for the Nashville Predators. 10:15 of the first period, though. It's Trennan off the box. 2 minutes for tripping. Saros is going to come up with a save on Lindholm, then comes up with another save on Toffoli. Overall, Nashville Predators PK, good enough. 13-19 of the first period. Saros comes up with a save on Tanev. 14-18. Saros a save on Mangiapane off of the rush at 16:08. Zadorov off to the box. 2 minutes for holding. Trennan would hit the post. That would be all for this Nashville Predators power play. We hit the end of the first period, and the Nashville Predators are out shooting the Calgary Flames 13-11. We are 55 seconds into the second period on the clean sheet, and it's UC Saros coming up with a save on Jonathan Huberdeau. 1:37 of the second period. Saros comes with a save on Coleman, plus the rebound follow-up. Really strong scoring chance there for Calgary. 2:17 of the second period. Dubé's off the box. 2 minutes for high sticking. Markstrom would come up with one big save on Tommy Novak, but the PK for Calgary pretty strong in this opportunity. 4:59 second period. Markstrom comes with a save on Trennan, plus Sissons with the strong rebound jam right here. 5:33 of the second. Huberdeau was off the box. 2 minutes for tripping. Great zone time for the Nashville Predators, but everything was kept well to the outside. Preds failed to generate a good scoring chance. 7:41 of the second period. It's Stetcher's third goal of the season. It was a wrist shot off of the post through the heavy screen. UC Saros was looking one way. The shot came from the other way. So UC Saros never had a chance on this one. Plus the kiss off the inside of the post never hurts. Calgary on the board now. Stetcher's third of the season. Tie game, one apiece midway through. 9:17 of the second period. McDonough is off to the box. 2 minutes for high sticking. UC Saros comes up with one big save on Ritchie, but the Nashville Predators penalty kill overall very good. 14:30 of the second period. Saros save on Tanev. 17:07. Saros a save on Mangiapane. 17:24. Saros a save on Ritchie. At 17:25 though, it's Sanford off to the box. 2 minutes for slashing just after the save on Ritchie. Sanford comes crashing in, deemed to be an illegal play with the stick, and that's going to lead the Nashville Predators being on the penalty kill again, and it would be a strong penalty kill for the Preds. 19:37. Tanev off to the box. 2 minutes for holding. We would hit the end of the second period. Calgary now out shooting Nashville 24-22. We've got a 1-1 hockey game with the season on the line. A carryover into the third period on the power play for the Nashville Predators of 1 minute and 38 seconds. That's where UC Saros is going to come up with the biggest save of the game to this point. It's on a short-handed breakaway. Barry picks up a penalty on that short-handed breakaway. 2 minutes for hooking, so we would see a 4-on-4 scenario for the next 32 seconds. That would come and go, and then the Calgary Flames would go on the penalty on the power play. The Nashville Predators PK would hold strong under some very strong pressure. At 4:02 of the third period, Sanford gets up second goal of the season. It was a loose puck stuff after Glass poked the puck from behind the net. It was just sitting there in the blue paint. Sanford gets to it before Markstrom or anyone else can find it. His second goal of the season is also the second goal of the game for the Nashville Predators, giving the Preds a 2-1 lead. High event hockey because we're already onto the back of the sheet. 5:12 of the third period. Markstrom comes up with a save on Evangelista off of the rush at 7:36 of the third period. Saros comes up with another save on Tanev at 8:03 of the third period. Backlund's 19th goal of the season comes at the end of a tic-tac-toe after a turnover. It was Ryan McDonough with the uncharacteristic turnover. He dumped it from behind the net along the wall, could not get it out past the blue line. Calgary turned that play back around with some slick passing. Easy finish there from the face-off circle for Backlund. His 19th of the season ties the game up at 2 apiece. Midway through the third period, now 10:21 through. Coleman's off to the box. 2 minutes for high sticking strong PK by the Calgary Flames. Calgary Flames penalty kill unit seemed to get better and better as this game went along. 13:53 of the third period. UC Saros comes with a save on Ritchie. 14:48 Saros. Another save on Weaker. 17:09 Saros. A save on Lindholm's redirect from well outside wide to inside. Would have gone into the net if Saros wasn't there. What an incredible redirect by Lindholm. 18:26 Saros. Another save on Weaker. 19:36 Saros. One more save on Dubé. The Nashville Predators survive regulation. UC Saros is putting in the work. At the end of regulation, we're tied at 2 apiece. Calgary, 41 shots on goal. The Nashville Predators, 27 shots on goal. Now into the 3-on-3 overtime. 1:29 in. Saros comes with a save on Weegar right there on the doorstep. First really good scoring opportunity of the overtime session. 3:28 into the OT. It's Saros coming up with a save on Toffoli. 3:37. Markstrom comes up with with one of his better saves on Thomasino. And then 4:56, Markstrom has to come with a save on Parson. And it looked like Parson had a chance to put this one away there in the very final seconds of the overtime session. At the end of overtime, Calgary is out shooting Nashville now 44-28. By far, the dominating scoring opportunities went to the Calgary Flames in the 3-on-3 portion of the overtime. We go to the shootout again with the season on the line for the Nashville Predators. Huberdeau is a specialist in this situation, and just seeing his name penned in, you might as well make it 1-0. And that's exactly what it is in the shootout. He goes slow and low and puts on a plethora of moves before beating UC Saros. Now, it was a hell of a duel between the two of them, and Saros almost managed to outweight Huberdeau, but that is nearly impossible. Seriously, Huberdeau is the best in the NHL at doing this. Glass with speed then makes it 1-1 for the Nashville Predators in the shootout. UC Saros is able to get the Nashville Predators into the extra frame. Novak with the quick hands, 2-1. Nashville Predators win the shootout in the fourth round of the shootout. They win the game in the shootout 3-2 overall and outshot by Calgary 41-27 in this game. The Nashville Predators season continues, and the Nashville Predators survive, and UC Saros once again does all of the work out there. He keeps the Nashville Predators rolling, and he's going to force the Winnipeg Jets to have to eliminate the Nashville Predators by taking care of their own business. There will be no backing in for the Winnipeg Jets. After tonight, the Nashville Predators defeat the Calgary Flames in the shootout. UC Saros does the bulk of the work. Full analysis coming up next. The Renegades of Puck in the trenches. We sure do appreciate you listening to the Renegades of Puck podcast. That was the Rebirth Sports full game recap. Right back after these quick messages.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm Tracy, owner-operator of Strong Style Fitness. And that's me and my training assistant, Rizzo. And we are here to bring you fitness that meets you where you are by offering circuit classes, bar-inspired classes, Tabata workouts, boot camps, guided stretching, and more, all taught by a certified personal trainer, me. To learn more, go to our website, strongstylefit.com. Subscribe on YouTube at Strong Style Fitness. Follow on social media at Strong Style Fit. But most importantly, let's get you moving. It doesn't matter if it's your first workout or you've been doing it for years. Strong Style Fitness has the workout that meets you on your journey and helps you along the path to a happier, healthier life. I understand where you've been, what you were going through, and where you were going, and I want to take you there. We'll see you on the mat. Mwah.
UC Saros was 42 out of 44 in this game, and the 2 goals against, listen, one of them kisses off the inside of the post and in while heavy traffic is in front, and another one after a turnover, tic-tac-toe to the back of the net. UC Saros never had a chance on either of those, but in the shootout, he was incredible, only giving up one to the specialist Huberdeau. 42 out of 44, another just incredible game, and he's moving up the Vezina charts. Now listen, we've been making the case that he should absolutely be a Vezina finalist this season, with Ullmark more than likely winning it, but UC Saros at this point in time has to be pushing for that number 1 spot. He has to be prying the eyes of the people that make these decisions wide open. A night like this in Calgary with the season on the line, just another incredible performance. And UC Saros is the reason that the Nashville Predators are right here at this moment, still alive with 2 games to go in the season. Again, moving up the charts of the Vezina without a doubt. He's a finalist in my mind, without a doubt right now. He could be winning this whole damn thing. He might just be the best goaltender in the league, and we get to watch him every night, cover him every night here in Nashville. Afanassiev's first NHL goal. What an awesome moment. We've seen so many awesome moments recently for this Nashville Predators team and for this new youth movement and this new core group, this rebuild. All of them experiencing so many important, impactful first moments together as a group, and this is another one of them. It was great to see the team celebrating this. Afanasiev getting his first NHL goal, his first point as a Nashville Predator, and he's been working hard. He's been playing good hockey, and it was wonderful to see him out there. Only got 7:37 in total time on ice in this game, but I got to tell you, he was noticeable, and he scored that goal, and it was great to see him. Sanford picks up a goal in this game. Listen, go to the hard areas, clean up the garbage, get to that loose puck before anybody else can find it. That's exactly what he did. The Nashville Predators needed someone to dig deep, and they needed someone to put the puck in the net right there, and Sanford stepped up and did that. Great to see his recent recall now, him getting rewarded with this opportunity. Again, he goes to the net, working hard, finds that puck, and puts it in. Tommy Novak, the shootout game-winning goal. He's as cool as can be, man. He barely even celebrated. The entire bench cut to the bench. Everybody on the bench, coaches, trainers, medical staff, everyone losing their minds over there on the Predators bench. And then it comes to cutting back to Novak. He's just skating away, just as cool as can be, almost as if he didn't convert on it. He goes ahead and puts that one in there, and he wins us in the 4th round of the shootout for the Nashville Predators. I mean, listen, what a crazy journey for Tommy Novak. I couldn't understand why he disappeared the way he did last year. And then this year, I was hoping he would get the opportunity. He gets the opportunity, comes up, and you talk about just seizing the moment. 41 points this season. Now he gets the game-winning shootout goal to keep the Predators season alive and to eliminate the Calgary Flames. A very early big moment in Tommy Novak's career, the shootout game-winning goal in Calgary. Livingstone, he was playing college hockey just a little over 2 weeks ago. Now he's picked up his first point in the NHL. Again, how cool is it that we get to see all of these moments? This could have been the longest final 20-game stretch you could imagine, the way the Nashville Predators had played through the middle portion of the season. But with the dismantling of a bunch of veterans and the injuries forcing the amount of youth to be playing together at once, we're experiencing so many significant moments and milestones all together, all at once, and this team is growing mentally, physically, spiritually, and in the community. It is just great to see. And again, we're celebrating a first NHL goal, and we're celebrating a first NHL point now with Livingstone, all in the same recap of this game. A pivotal, important game to keep the season alive. These are the type of memories that players will keep with them forever. Now listen, the Predators came away with the win, and they got the win in the shootout, and UC Charles certainly is the reason they did that. They almost cost themselves this opportunity to continue their season on, and it was with the power play. 0 for 6. Sweet hockey. Jesus. 5 shots against, a breakaway, and a negation penalty on your power play. It was fairly brutal. Barry is a good power play quarterback, but 9-15 in total time on ice, got nothing done. Tomasino, 9-16 of power play time on ice. Glass, 9-02. Evangelista, 9-07. They just did not get it done out there. And again, the power play, it is what it is at this point in the season. It's 27th in the league. They've only scored 43 times the entire season, and it's not going to get any better with only 2 games to go in the season. But my God, that almost cost them this game tonight. 0 for 6, 5 shots against, 5 shorthanded shots against. UC Stars had to be incredibly strong and stop a breakaway, and they negated one of their own power plays with a penalty. Just brutal stuff. But the Reds were able to survive. They're able to get the 2 points, eliminate the Calgary Flames, and keep their season rolling on. Now they'll face the Minnesota Wild and the Colorado Avalanche. 2 games to go to wrap up the season. Before we go to the analysis portion of things, that was the Nashville Predators' final road game of the season. They also picked up their 20th victory on the road. So 20-17-4 is the Nashville Predators' final record on the road this season. If you can break even on the road and win 2/3 of your game at home, you typically find yourself in the playoffs, and the Nashville Predators are right about both of those particular metrics. 20 victories on the road, now 21 victories on home ice with 2 more games to go on home ice. We got the Renegades of Puck coming up in the trenches momentarily. We'll be back right after these messages on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
Thanks, Charlie. Hey, Renegades, it's Sean Smith. Let's talk about the Predators really quick. Let's talk about the win over the Flames. It comes in the shootout. Tommy Novak makes a difference for the team, sends them over, gets them the goal they need in the shootout to get them the extra point to cap off that tied game that UC Saros looked pretty incredible in. That's kind of the capstone of the year for him. That's what he's done all year long, is look good in the net. And he certainly looked good tonight. Now here's the good news. The Predators are still mathematically in the playoff hunt. The bad news is that even if the Predators win out against Minnesota and Colorado, all the Jets have to do is win a game. Now that's probably realistic here. The Jets are probably going to win one of those games. They play the same teams. They play Minnesota and Colorado as well. But here's the thing. I don't really want to talk about that. What I want to talk about is the fact that there are 2 games left in the regular season, and this Predators team with 2 games left are still not eliminated from the playoffs, but are still mathematically in the playoff race. Think about that. They put the Flames out, not just the, like the figure of speech, they extinguished the Flames. The Flames are no longer, they don't have a chance of making the playoffs, and the Preds do, albeit a very small one, and it's not dependent on what they do as much as it's on whether or not the Jets can win 1 game and whether or not the Preds can win 2 games. There's a lot that has to go wrong for the Jets and a lot that has to go right for the Preds. But look, did you see this team being here at this point in the season? After the sell-off, before the trade deadline, whatever you want to call it, did you see this team of AHLers, college kids, rookies, guys that probably wouldn't have seen the NHL if it hadn't been for a bunch of, and I mean a bunch of, injuries to roster players? Did you think that this team that had gotten to the point leading up until the trade deadline that they were willing to sell off major assets? Matthias Ekholm gone, Tanner Jeannot gone, Mikhail Granlund gone. These guys are gone. They're not injured. They're gone. The team got rid of them and said, we're moving on. It's time to start doing something different. They're calling it a reset, whatever. And then they fill in the roster with guys from the AHL. And then everybody, literally everybody gets hurt. And now the team is full of your Kiefer Sherwoods and your Zach Sanfords and Jake Livingstones. Who saw that one coming? And you've got Juuso Parsonen's back, and you got all these guys. Igor Afanasyev. These are guys that you didn't expect to see in the NHL this season, but here they are, and they're playing meaningful hockey with 2 games left in the season. And it's one of those things where, the Predators, look, in their current iteration, they've been able to hang with some of the bigger teams, but they're also hanging with the teams that they're in competition with. They're not outmatched anymore. And it's really surprising considering that all of these guys are gone. So you got 2 games left in the season. More than likely, the Predators aren't going to make the playoffs. I don't feel particularly bad saying that, nor do I feel like I'm too far off. But you have to be inspired by what you see. And you've got to know, look, if you had Roman Josi back, maybe just Josi, add in Philip Forsberg to the mix, or maybe even Matt Duchene at this point, this team probably wins a couple more of those last few games and makes the playoffs straight out. But unfortunately, they're not here. So you've got to feel good going into next season that this is the type of hockey you're going to be seeing. That's, if you had to take anything away from tonight other than the fact that it was an exciting shootout win and the Predators stayed alive, it's the fact that there's hope for next year. And when you talk about going into a rebuild or a reset or whatever David Poile wants to call it, whatever he's leaving Barry Trotz with, it's not going to be as bad as everybody thought. This is going to be a team that can compete and they can roll with the big boys. And I think it's going to be good. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you guys are too. Renegades, that's all I got. Charlie, I'm going to send it back over to you.
The digital environment can be quite intimidating, time-consuming, and cumbersome, especially with all those other areas that need attention at your business. And that's why Stripe Digital Solutions is here to help. I know, because that's exactly what Stripe Digital Solutions did for me and the Renegades of Puck. From designing my home website and helping me create my merchandise to special event posters, brand building, and social media management. But it's not just that, it's so much more. Stripe Digital Solutions has helped me every step of the way. From startup to full-time operation, Stripe Digital Solutions has been there to assist and advise every single step of the journey. In today's fast-paced world, the path to success is having a strong digital partner, and nobody is better in the trenches than Brandy and Stripe Digital Solutions. Get the solution before it's even a problem with Stripe Digital Solutions. When it comes to the box score, listen, not the typical names you would expect for the Nashville Predators to be scoring late in the season to keep the season alive. Afanasyev's first goal as a Nashville Predator, first goal in the NHL. Sanford also picking up a goal in this game. And then it was Tommy Novak with the shootout game-winning goal. When it comes to assists, Glass and Jankowski pick up assists. Livingstone, first NHL point, picks up an assist in this game. When it comes to the shots on goal, Yakov, Trennan, 4, and Barry also 4. That was your team leaders for for the Nashville Predators. When it comes to the block shots category, the defense working incredibly hard. The number of shots on net, 44. The number of shot attempts was pretty incredible. And block shots, it was Livingstone with 5, and it was also McDonough with 4, and Fabro with 4. Pretty incredible effort there by the Nashville Predators defense, sacrificing the body and definitely getting in the way of a lot of shots against. When it comes to physical play, well, frankly, the Nashville Predators were out-physicaled, outmatched by the Calgary Flames, so they did not engage as much as you might expect. There was a couple of scrums after the whistles, but the hits leader for the Nashville Predators is Yakov Trenin with 3. Other than that, fairly sparse throughout the lineup. Time on ice, just incredible to see some of these numbers right here. Philip Tomasino, 23-42 time on ice in this game. That led all forwards, 9-16 on the power play. Novak, 9-17 on the power play. Evangelista, 9-07 on the power play. Glass, 9-02 on the power play. Unfortunately, all of it ineffective. And when it comes to total time on ice leaders, of course, you got to flip over to the defensive side of things. Tyson Barrie, 24-29 in this game. Just incredible. And Dante Fabro just wanted to point out 5:08 of shorthanded time on ice. That was the most of any Nashville Predator. Nashville Predators did the job out there when it comes to the penalty kill. So good job there by Dante Fabro. In net, UC Saros 42 out of 44, and he keeps things alive just long enough in the shootout for the Nashville Predators to convert in the extra frame. That's going to do it for the box score. Nashville Predators find a way to stay alive, but that's not the end of the talk of the numbers. We got to talk to Brian Baston. He's got the charts you need to see. He's got the numbers you need to know. He is the one and only Brian Baston from ontheforecheck.com. Brian, time to bring the jam.
Still standing. The Predators, already facing near certain odds of missing the playoffs, went to Calgary tonight and walked away 3-2 shootout winners, eliminating the Flames from playoff contention. From Igor Afanasyev's first NHL goal to the shootout goal from Tommy Novak, the Nashville Predators are still alive in the playoffs, even though Winnipeg won earlier today. The chances aren't that much better, but the Predators are still alive, and that's the topic of tonight's One Big Stat. Let's talk about who lost tonight before we get to the victors. Calgary is eliminated because despite sitting at 91 points, which is one more than Nashville's 90, they only have one game remaining and could only tie Winnipeg at 93, but would lose the tiebreaker. Nashville, on the other hand, still has 2 games to play, so Nashville could theoretically finish with 94 points to Winnipeg's 93 and get into the playoffs. But to make things more difficult for Nashville, of course, Winnipeg also has every tiebreaker against Nashville. So Winnipeg, even by getting a single point in their next 2 games, will be in the playoffs and Nashville will be eliminated. All that means is Nashville's losing magic number is 1. That's 1 point gained by the Jets or 1 point lost by the Nashville Predators. So everything has to go perfect. So as it stands right now, Nashville's playoff chance sits at about 7%. But tonight the race changes. There's 0 margin for error. A single point in the standings lost or given away, that ends the season. And that also means that when Nashville plays their final game of the NHL season, the final game out of all the games in the NHL season on Friday against Colorado, then Nashville has a chance, with everything going right, to win and be in if everything goes to plan. And that would be pretty good way to end the season. The very first team to drop the puck, even though they did over in Prague, and then the very last team to drop the puck, and they get into the playoffs with a win. But there's a lot of work to be done before that happens. And first, we've got Winnipeg at Minnesota tomorrow. So again, we could know tomorrow if Nashville is out of the playoffs, if Winnipeg gets a point in any fashion. So they have to lose. They have to lose under 60 in 60 minutes, and Nashville just has to keep winning. So hope's not dead. There's still a chance, but day by day, we'll know exactly where Nashville stands. And that's tonight's One Big Stat. Charlie?
I'm Crazy Charlie Saunier, captain of the Renegades of Puck. I'm also tired of the cold, tired of the dark, and tired of being landlocked. I'm also willing to bet that I'm not the only one who could use some sun, fun, and time in paradise with friends. That's exactly why I called our great friend Pete Weber. He told me, call Ships and Trips Travel, and now we're all going to Mexico. That's right, Renegades of Puck, July 15th to the 20th of 2023. Dreams Vallarta Resort in Puerto Vallarta is the destination to hang with Pete Weber in paradise. To join Pete and the Renegades of Puck in Puerto Vallarta, go to www.shipsandtripstravel.com. That's shipsandtripstravel.com, and just click on the ROP on vacation tab. Don't stay landlocked. Join the Renegades of Puck in paradise, July 15th to the 20th, 2023 in Puerto Vallarta. Pete Weber, the Renegades of Puck, and you. It's time to ditch those skates for flip-flops and fun in the sun. This team is still alive. With 2 games to go in the season, the Nashville Predators are still alive. The Nashville Predators eliminated a team tonight in the Calgary Flames, and the Nashville Predators will be a determining factor in who wins the Central Division over the final 2 games of the season with Minnesota and Colorado, and might just find themselves in a playoff spot as well. Listen, they got to get some help from the Winnipeg Jets. Winning the final 2 games for the Preds is difficult enough, but they also need to get the Winnipeg Jets to lose at least 2 of their remaining games. So for the Nashville Predators, they really need the help going into this scenario. They could really use Minnesota to beat Winnipeg. Any point for the Winnipeg Jets at this point will eliminate the Nashville Predators, but the Preds are going to force Winnipeg to knock them out of the playoffs. I love it. The Preds are still alive. This young Nashville Predators core group, this pesky Preds, this baby Preds group, I can't wait to see what they're going to do in the future. I'm loving so much what they're doing right now, celebrating all of these milestones, watching them grow mentally, physically, spiritually, and as a part of our community here in Nashville. All of that is great, but I can't wait to see how these players get intermixed with Matt Duchene, with Philip Forsberg, with Ryan Johansson, with Roman Josi, with Alex Carrier coming back, when the Nashville Predators are actually going to be able to field a complete and competitive roster. It's very exciting times. Final 2 games of the season, the Preds are still alive, and it's been so much fun to carry. I would love to see them get in just for the fun of watching this team take on one of the top teams in the NHL. Probably be against the Vegas Golden Knights. That would be a pretty incredible 7-game series. I'd feel better about it than I would about last year's Colorado Avalanche series. With UC Saros, you always have a chance. He just might be the best goaltender in the entire NHL. 2 games to go. Preds are still alive. Playoffs just around the corner. We'll also be talking a whole lot more Milwaukee Admirals hockey right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast. So we hope you're going to stick with us through the AHL playoffs and all summer long, as we'll continue covering all of the things that happen with the Nashville Predators when it comes to the draft here in Nashville, free agency, trades, and the most important training camp perhaps since the first ever training camp for the Nashville Predators. Exciting times here if you're on the beat covering the Nashville Predators. A couple of milestones coming up for the show. Episode number 750 overall is coming up. Of course, that's a milestone, but episode 754 will represent 200 episodes since we left radio, went independent, and started Renegades of Puck TV. So coming up in just a couple of episodes is the 200th episode of Renegades of Puck TV, our 200th video on YouTube. So we are so incredibly excited, and so many other milestones are not that far off in the future. Can't believe we are already at a point where we're talking about 750 total episodes, 12 plus years now of covering the Nashville Predators independently. We used to have a media partner, but now it's just us. Can't thank you guys enough for supporting it. The more you support it, the more we can continue to cover it, and the more we can continue to grow. Sure to appreciate each and every one of you. Stick taps, love, and respect for all the sport, especially everyone over the Full Press NHL Network. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. I appreciate your viewership. I appreciate your time. Most importantly, I appreciate you. Stick taps, love, and respect.